Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to all of those guys that like our Facebook page. Today we've reached more than 1,000. So thank you so much. And personally, it's a very big motivation for me to make these videos for you guys and to help everyone that needs help. So thank you so much guys. So moving on to today's video. Today's video is about the basics of the IELTS listening test. So let's get into it. So, the listening test. Basically, the first information you need to know is that it is in 4 different sections. And these 4 different sections have 10 questions each. So, that would mean a total of 40 questions. Cool? And these 4 sections, if I would tell you, the first one is supposed to be, in comparison to the others, should be made easier, and the fourth one would be a bit more difficult. So they're in easy level to difficult. And for these 4 sections, there are 4 different topics that are given. If you could see on the screen, and don't worry if you can't read the screen, our screenshots are always posted on our Facebook page as well for you guys, so you can always look it up. So for the first section, in that first section, they have 2 speakers talking, and it's like a communication that they're having, a conversation. And in that, it's mostly like an informal conversation that they're having. In the second part, it's more like a monologue, and it's a non-academic topic. For the third part, I will have a discussion, and in that discussion, they'll have about 2 to 4 speakers. So there's not a complete percentage on which number of people would be talking. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4. Cool? In the fourth one, in that section, it's another monologue, but in that one, that will be an academic topic. So it could be like a lecture. So for these 40 questions, you'll have a 30-minute audio playing. And as I had said before, there's a paper-based delivered test that you could do and a computer-based delivered test. So in the paper-based, you'll have that 30 minutes plus you'll have an extra 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes is to transfer your answers from your question booklet to your answer sheet. But in the computer-based, you don't get that 10 minutes because your answers, you've actually clicked on it and it's all sorted. Cool? So moving on, the type of questions that you can get. So over here, I'll try to tell you what type of questions you can get and also try to give you examples. For example, the first question type is multi-choice, and it could look something like, so there would be a question, for example, what has the woman forgot to do for her party? And in that multi-choice, you'll get an option of, could be 3, could be 4, could be even 5. So over here, I would write probably decoration. Send invitations. Or choose what to wear. And there will be an audio played, and the audio would specifically tell these information. In the multi-choice, you got to remember that sometimes it will talk about the 3 options that you have, so you have to clearly remember what the question is actually asking you and circle the answer that you think it is talking about. Cool? Sorry. The second question type is matching, and it could look something like, So there would be a question, for example, what does the man say about each color representing? Then you could have a box that would have a list of options. For example, peace, laughter, sadness, and anger. And then you'll have your options here. So you can have a list of colors, and then you have to write in which the audio would say that black represents which color. Which part? Is it peace, laughter, sadness, or anger? Whichever your option is, then you'll be writing probably the letter, or if it's the word, then you'll have to be writing the words. You have to remember to look at the instructions, what they're telling you to write in your blank. Cool? The other one would be you can have a plan, map, diagram, or even labeling. And that could look something like so I would probably tell you about a road plan, and of course there'll be two roads. That's the two roads interlinking, and that could be the road 1. It wouldn't actually say road 1, it will have a name for the road. And then this would be your road 2. Cool. And then it can have boxes probably. And then they could have letters in them. Cool. And then there'll be a starting point that would probably start with a star, or it could even have probably like a person drawn on it, like an icon for a person, so that would be your starting point. So you always have to remember what your starting point is, and the audio will keep telling you about each places. And then you could probably have options here. For example, like a library, and then there will be this blank that probably the audio will tell you which one's the library, and then you'll have to write. For example, if it says E is the library, it wouldn't actually say E, but it will tell you in giving you directions. So if that's the letter for it, then you'll write E in the blank. Cool? The next one we're looking at could be, you could get a form, note, table, flowchart, or even a summary completion. And it could look like something, for example, if this is a table, and of course your tables will have headings first. So this could be day, room, time, probably subject. I'm just making these examples up, guys. So over here in these ones you'll have some information. For example, this is day, so it could be Monday, and then that could be your blank, and then here would be probably Saturday, and then over here could be a blank, and then over here will tell you room 10, room, and then another blank, and then over here would tell you your times, and then over here would be one subject, and over here could be your blank and another subject. So this is kind of like another fill in the blank, but you're actually filling your table with the information that the audio would be telling you. So over here you've got information like, okay, Monday, then you'll have a time slot that it would be talking about and the subject, and you just have to hear what room they say that you'll have that specific subject on that time for Monday class. Cool? And moving on to the next one. So moving on is sentence completion. So this could be And this would originally look like fill in the blanks that you actually used to get in schools probably. And it could be like, the building has blank. So that's your blank. Underground stories. So you just have to hear how many underground stories does that building have, and then whatever it will be, that will be in your blank. Always remember there will be instructions for you for the fill in the blanks on how much words you're supposed to write in that blank. It would say probably like write at least, or write 3 words, write no more than 3 words, and or a number. So that would be like and or. So that means either 3 words, so no more than 3 words, and then of course you can add a number to it. So it's and or, so that be the fourth part could be a number. Okay? The last one that you have is short answer. And short answer would be that you'll have a question. Cool? You'll have your question and then there'll be a blank line. So in that you just have to write the answer for that specific question they are asking you. And again, they'll tell you write no more than how many words and or a number. Cool? So that are the particular types of question types you can get for your listening test. And the things you have to do, and these are just things that could help you improve in your listening test. For example, there's one thing, for example, is improve your spelling. So if by chance your answer for a particular question is tear, so the word tear means as in ripping the paper, and maybe you wrote T-A-R-E. So your spelling is incorrect. It had to be T-E-A-R. So even though you have all those letters, still your answer is going to be incorrect because you didn't spell it right. Cool? So you have to improve your spellings. And the other one is build your vocabulary. Okay? Because in the listening test, they mostly use questions. The questions would say a particular word, for example, big. And in the audio, you would hear something like huge. So you have to know the synonyms of each type of word so that you don't get confused on which part of the question you are in. Cool? So building your vocabulary is a must. The other one is do practice tests. You have to do a lot of practice tests, but you have to make sure don't just rely on the practice test that will improve your IELTS performance. It's not. But that actually helps you in the sense, if you have a 30-minute audio playing, and sometimes people get under pressure, sometimes they would even know the spellings. And I have experienced this with some of my students here in these 2 years, that they would actually know the spellings if you ask them personally. But if they're writing it on their test, they sometimes get too under pressure and they're in such a hurry that they actually write it wrong. And you kind of lose marks for it as well, because each mark is each point. So if you get one question incorrect, you lose a point. Cool? So practice tests, do them as much as possible, and get used to doing 40 questions in those 30 minutes. Next one, attend IELTS classes. This is the key thing. If you attend IELTS classes and if you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to improve, and you're going to improve very well in getting your band scores higher. Because you'll get some tips, you'll get some strategies that you have to do to pass your IELTS test. Right? The last one is broaden your audio diet. Okay? Make sure these are not just the things that you have to do. There are more things you have to do, but these are just the basics for you to improve. So broaden your audio diet. The more you hear, the more you'll get better into understanding what the audios are telling you. Because you'll know, either it could be in British accent, American accent, New Zealand accent, Australian accent, and all the accents are quite different to each other. Cool? So if you broaden your audio diet, you'll get used to the audio and it will really help you in doing your IELTS listening test. Right? So that's all for today, guys. But remember, if you have any comments, any questions, please don't feel shy. You can flicker in our inbox. You can also comment to us and we'll get back to you. And if you have any other inquiries, you can always contact us. Cool? And thank you guys. Tomorrow we'll be back with some tips for the listening test. So stay tuned and make sure to come see us again. Thank you.